Hey everybody!
Hey guys!
Hi.
This is MaJeliv. We're the Vasquez family. I'm Matthew.
I'm Jenny.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Jose.
And I'm Joshua.
And today we are going to be reacting to episode 3 of Star Wars Ahsoka. The first 2 episodes were quite to the 2-episode premiere. We had a lot to say. We had a lot of thoughts.
Yes.
There's definitely a lot to be excited about, a lot that we're looking forward to continue to see in this show. There's a couple little things that we're kind of concerned about, that kind of going forward cautiously, a little guarded. Yeah, there's some things that we're still kind of some question marks. So we're definitely just ready to dive on in and see where this show progresses, where these characters go, how they evolve. There's a lot of things to still talk about, and we're happy that we're doing it with all of you. So thank you for joining us today. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you guys are watching an edited version of our reaction. If you guys want to have access to our full uncut watch along to this episode and to any future episodes of Ahsoka, you guys can have access to that uncut watch along by becoming a member of this channel by either clicking the link in the description or the scroll up above to check out our Patreon, or by clicking that join icon next to the subscribe button. So you guys have 2 ways to become members of this channel and support what we do here at MaJeliv. But regardless, we're excited that you guys are here with us today. Let's jump into episode 3 of Ahsoka. Here we go.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool, actually.
Yate.
I see you still remember the basics.
Enough to get by.
Barely.
Learning to wield the Force takes a deeper commitment.
How?
That's something you'll have to discover.
Well, I discovered that according to Hu Yang, I'm the worst candidate to be a Jedi out of every Jedi he's ever known.
You told her that?
It's true.
Here, put this on.
I can't see. How am I supposed to fight?
I want you to see with more than just your eyes.
Huh.
Do you know where I am?
Next to Hu Yang.
Are you sure? Feel my presence. Take in all that is around you. Follow my voice.
I love Huron. He's such a cool.
Yeah.
I love
Sense
how
my
brutally honest
intention.
he is. Oh, this is cool.
Low-key Matrix vibes with the way Morpheus is just like stoic.
Yeah. Welcome to the desert.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool. Very cool.
That was cool.
Oh.
Not cool.
Anger and frustration are quick to give power, but they also unbalance you.
Hu Yang is like,
Let's go again.
Ooh. Yay.
Okay.
That was cool.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
also fun
Yeah, me
training.
too.
Time to fly is what this one's called.
Time to
Oh,
fly.
A-Wings. Got some A-Wings. A-Wing action. Hara.
Ta-da.
She's waiting. There are several senators with her. One of them is Ziono.
Ooh. Who is Ziono?
Somebody not a favor, I guess. Or high
Ziono is
stakes.
someone I don't know.
Chancellor Mothma, senators.
Hey.
You look well. How's young Jason?
Fine, Chancellor. In fact, he's on board. Somewhere.
That it is.
We have former Imperials working throughout every level of the New Republic government, and they have all taken an oath of loyalty.
Long live the Empire doesn't sound like the kind of loyalty we're looking for. But I believe their activity speaks to a larger operation.
It always does.
Involving Thrawn.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
That gave me chills.
I have reason to believe he's alive. And that his allies are working on a way to find him.
You are certain of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't this just another attempt to gain New Republic resources to aid in what has ultimately been your personal quest to find Ezra Bridger?
Ezra vanished while fighting Thrawn.
And that you conveniently use a threat of Thrawn's return to acquire those resources.
Were you ever in the war, Senator?
No.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah.
Sat back and waited to see who came out on top.
Oh man,
Yes.
eat that for breakfast.
That made him quiet.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war, and that's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one.
Grand Admiral Thrawn is dead. And I'm sorry to say it is my opinion that your friend Ezra Bridger heroically died with him.
You don't know that.
General. Hera,
She was an
allow me a
hologram.
moment to speak with my colleagues.
Of course. Chancellor. Senators.
Wow. Favorite scene so far in this
Yeah,
show.
that
Thank
was-
you.
That went well.
Yeah, I would say.
Hey, look.
Is it true Aunt Sabine is gonna be a Jedi?
Now, where did you hear that?
Chopper told me. I want to be a Jedi.
Yeah, I know you do, Jason.
Yeah, don't we all, kid?
Your dad's a Jedi, so like.
He kind of has that in him. If he wanted to, you know. Does he become a Jedi?
That's sad.
I know.
I know.
Then again, you were
That was
Freaking sucks, man.
Well,
I still like
you
this
said,
table.
what-
Like I want one of those that like comes out of the ground.
Except you're stepping on the table when you walk around.
You have to keep it
That's
clean.
what the plates are for.
I can't use the Force. I don't feel it.
Believe it.
Force resides in all living things, even you.
If that's true, then why doesn't everyone use it?
Talent is a factor, but training and focus are what truly defines someone's success. Not everyone can handle the type of discipline it takes to master the ways of the Force.
I want to do that, man.
Start small.
You both knew this wouldn't be easy.
Well, what you said didn't help.
I only spoke the truth. The Jedi Order would not have accepted her. She is not an acceptable candidate.
By their standards.
Standards which were proven over a millennia.
And failed.
You got it.
You win this round.
Oh man.
Not from hyperspace. Let's see what Morgan's been hiding out here.
So badass.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Dude, what?
Let's go, Star Wars time.
Dude, what ships are those?
those are the bad chips.
That's a simple way to put it.
I want one. They're so
Yeah.
they're so like little.
Awesome.
This is it.
Let's go, man.
I'm definitely feeling a lot more connection. This
Oh, yeah.
episode.
This is so much better.
Yay, thank God. I'm so grateful.
I never needed them. So you say?
Kill gun ready.
Copy that.
That's your specialty. That's the gun.
Uh-huh.
Remember,
Learn to anticipate.
now's not the time for a lesson. It's just a little rusty.
Uh-oh.
Use the Force, Sabine.
Gang, not now.
The way you're both acting, there won't be a later.
Sabine,
Tell me what you need.
move on my signal.
Copy.
Dive.
Nice. Yes.
Dude.
I
Dude.
had them, but missed. Don't worry about it. You'll get another chance.
We got 2 more incoming. Dead ahead.
Yes.
Nice.
2-6 with me.
Buddha.
Whoa.
Like I said, very cool ship.
Dang.
Oh.
I would say it is some sort of hyperspace ring.
I'd like to confirm that.
That's what the Jedi used to use
Yeah.
for their ships.
Rock.
Form up on my wing and wait for my signal.
Just keep the ship steady while I attempt to run my scan.
He's a cool droid, for sure. He's like a 3PO.
Get
everything you need?
Not yet. See if you can get a little closer.
He's
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Yeah,
He's
He's
good.
really good.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, these ship sequences are insane.
Yeah, for real, man.
Intolerable.
You want it closer. The pressure's at 10%.
Look at that, man.
Scan complete.
Yeah.
Leave him. I need you to run a full diagnostic. Prioritize Sabine. We can't help Wu Yang if we're both dead. Now get on it.
Nice. Yes. Oh, yes. Interaction, conflict. Thank you.
I think we just let the
I think the
higher
first two
stakes and
episodes were
then
deep exposition.
not deep. They were just surface so that we could get to the good stuff.
Oh my gosh. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
I know
we'll
what you
see.
mean.
I'd like to rewatch it.
Incoming.
Work fast. I'm going out there.
Out there? Out where? Just keep working. I'll distract them.
Okay.
All right. Time to show why you call her master.
Yeah.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Wait, what? This is like Clone
Yo.
Wars stuff.
She's got her own space suit.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's cool.
Bro.
Who needs deflectors when you got Ahsoka Tano on your ship?
Did you fix the ship yet?
She just took out a ship, bro.
Wow.
Jeez, man. This is insane. This is so good.
Yeah, this is something else, man. Wow, man.
I'm telling you, that Starfighter is crazy.
Yeah.
Again, I think the first two episodes were exposition for anybody that doesn't know Rebels or
Yeah.
Clone Wars, especially since the last. Oh,
What? What is it?
It's a whale.
I just got chills, dude. The same space whales from
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Massive creatures, massive.
My gosh, they're like flying mountains.
Whoa.
Oh.
That was
Oh
close.
man. Dang, dude, they
Oh.
found it.
Yeah.
Dude, they found it.
And complete. Oh, took my battery back up a while to cycle, I suppose. What did I miss?
Nothing.
Almost died. Multiple times.
Ah, yes, standard operating procedure.
Very nice.
That was awesome.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful tree.
Shut the power down.
I protest. I have a lot of work to do.
Standard Jedi protocol.
I suppose that's true.
Shutting down.
Nice.
Very smart. She's mad.
Yeah.
Shin.
Who is that guy?
I like her spacesuit.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I love how she just tapped his shoulder.
Yeah, could a ring like that make a jump to a neighboring galaxy?
The Jedi archives speak of intergalactic hyperspace lanes between galaxies, which used to follow the migration paths of star whales named Purgle.
The ones that they just passed, right?
Like the ones we just saw.
Really? When?
Very interesting.
So they can
That is
ride
very
those. They
interesting.
can ride those to the other galaxy.
Balin.
Jedi have taken refuge in the forest.
The wind, bro.
He is so cool, man.
Yeah.
That person knows a lot. He knows something.
Well, he's force sensitive.
That, or he's just sad that he senses Ahsoka in the atmosphere.
Steph Green.
Yes, to.
Way to go.
Yes.
Is that a different
And
director?
written by Dave Filoni, though. Here.
Oh, the
So,
first two was directed by Dave Filoni?
well, and written. I mean, he wrote the whole.
No, I know, but this director was different.
He directed.
Steph Green directed the second episode as well.
And this one.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Both.
Yeah.
The second and the third.
I want to watch the first two again, just because we've seen them now, and now that we see this.
I mean, I could agree with you there, but also like, it's like you had said, where for people that haven't seen Rebels or Clone Wars, they needed to be caught up, or at least given some kind of introduction so that they have an idea of what's going on.
And I agree with you. I also think there's the truth to, because there's the end of Rebels, but then at the end, then they had a kind of like a time jump to then that moment we saw in episode 2 when Sabine goes off to Ahsoka. So there was things that were taken out of context that we didn't fully know about, or that I imagine when Dave Filoni maybe finished Rebels, they were kind of like, he kind of had a vague idea as to where he'd want his characters to go. And so he kind of threw that in there as like a, again, kind of a tee up for any potential they could have in the future to make a story about it. And so now when you bring Ahsoka back in with shows like Mando, Book of Boba Fett, and you can kind of play with more character arc or progression, because I genuinely don't remember where Sabine was at the end of the Battle of Lothal. So maybe that's where they began. I think some of the maybe disconnect that we felt that it was harder for us to receive the first 2 episodes was, I think, the high expectations we had in terms of what it was. There was not as much conflict still. I definitely think this episode had more chemistry between the actors and the characters. There was more, like Benji you were talking about, Dad. It felt more rich in that sense. But
well, it's because these characters that we know, and also Hu Yang, and they're able to just live, breathe, and also be thrown into a situation of high stress, of life-threatening stakes, and I think that's really a great way to introduce characters. I think more than just some conflict that is trying to be made so that you can understand their relationships, but just throw us into it. I think really allow us to see how they react to a bad situation, which is familiar Star Wars stuff, like the space fight that just happened. I mean, that had 3 acts. Like, there was the first part, and then when Ahsoka gets out of the
Clone Wars episode,
yeah. So it was really just a lot of fun, and I think because they were being thrown into the conflict, there was a lot more there, and the actors were able to have a lot more fun as well.
I would definitely like to watch it again, like Matthew said, to see how it builds up to this 3rd episode. Because again, I feel like reasonably so, we're very excited for this show. We may have had just subconscious a lot of big expectations, and maybe we were lost chronologically. And also to see it in a different light now because of the way episode 3 was. It'd be interesting to see if that awkwardness and that stiffness was intentional, or who knows? I'm not sure, but it definitely would be nice to rewatch the first 2 episodes to see how it connects with the 3rd one. But by far, this is my favorite one that we've seen, because I do love the interactions that Ahsoka and Sabine share with each other. You could see more of that relationship, which I was hoping for, and I'm very grateful that we got it. So I was like, yay, because I was worried. I really didn't want this to be like, I don't like, being so bitter about a show, and especially it being my favorite Star Wars character. I'm like, I don't like to sound like, all snobby or person with very, unrealistic expectations, but I definitely was worried the first 2 episodes, but to see how it's coming together is very promising, and I'm excited to see more, because I did love this episode. So
I think the first 2, like Matthew said, was spoon feeding us to get us all on the same page, basically. More narration of, okay, who are these characters, what have they, kind of bridging a gap for the audiences maybe who didn't know enough. But I think for the actors, you guys can let me know what you think, but when you're starting a journey and you don't really have a pre-experience to lead you to this moment, it's a little bit stale because they're just arriving to this introduction of character.
Yeah.
Now on part 3, they're actually merging. They're interacting with each other. They're depending on each other. They're, they're starting that true relationship as actors as well, and characters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think.
No, you do know. That's very, very smart.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
As I said,
The first 2 worried me. I think we were all a little bit like, we've never felt this way about Star Wars
It was so
before
strange.
in this way, and we were just kind of like, what are we watching right now?
And I think it's also partially because we, with Mando, we didn't really. It was its own new thing. So in the same way that we talked about Balin and stuff,
we used to watch Rebels, and it's
right. It has a deeper place in our heart, and I think who we had each one of us individually has our own definition for who these characters are, right? There's times where we agree, there's times where we disagree,
Right.
and I think this, especially part 1 and 2, is what I'm trying to get at. I don't think it was 100% perfect, but I also think it was Dave Filoni trying to say, okay, like from everything that we as fans have wanted from Ahsoka ever since Rebels finished, ever since Clone Wars wasn't able to get its its final season, and then it did, like all of these things have kind of fallen into place since the end of Rebels.
Yeah.
That as fans of Ahsoka, we've kind of just been praying for more of her. And now that we have gotten more, I think he's kind of realized, okay, if these things have happened, how do I align certain things? If Sabine becoming a Jedi, what does that do for her character? And, more of the, how does a character like Sabine, who is more technical and mechanical and has more of like that warrior instinct, how does someone like that tap into the spirituality of the Force, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the likes of like The Last Jedi that talks about anyone being a Jedi, and that whole concept of everyone has the ability to tap into the Force. So there's, again, things that are a great little foundations, and I think now it's just about embracing, okay, who are Sabine and Ahsoka in this moment, and then just seeing how they evolve. I just think the biggest like little thing was sometimes the conflict and the momentum. I think the pacing, like you were mentioning, Dad, and I'll throw it to you now. It just wasn't there, and it's starting to finally I think arrive. So.
And really quickly before Dad, if you wanted to go, it's just the conflict in this episode allowed the actor and the character to naturally merge together, and we're able to see these versions of these characters that are like,
they were able to live more presently in what was going on instead of having to think about what has happened, trying, not anticipating what's going to happen.
Right.
For sure. That's especially when there's so much exposition. But anyways, to close this all up, Dad, we'll finish with you.
Yeah, and I don't have a lot of time. I'm very conscious, aware that there's an appointment we have to get to, so I'm going to try to sum this up. So there's many ways to really take this in and break it down. And again, short on time, I'm going to focus on how Episode 3 took a lot of directing notes from the previous 2 and gave the actor something to do. And doing something with the saber training, every scene had them doing an activity. And as actors, we tend to do better when we're not in our head about something we need to say or how to say it. When we're given an activity, it's very much like life. And then suddenly we're not thinking about how to say something, or it's just that's not how we operate in life anyway. So I think that one little detail is perhaps one little thing that took it to the next level. And then there's probably countless other possibilities that I can only begin to guess and imagine that added to the writing. The editing was so much better in this. And again, it's probably the same teams that are editing this, and the writing obviously is still the same writer. But I think here Steph Green did something different. I think this episode probably just was the culmination of the first two parts, where the first two parts, I think they just fell flat because exposition tends to tempt even the actor to just be a talking head and just kind of tell the story. And and again, my thoughts on part 1 and 2 are still evolving. I need to rewatch it without thinking that I need to talk about it afterward, and then just write some thoughts down. But it's teaching us a lot as actors and as directors and writers. We appreciate this journey because it's teaching us how to operate on all those levels of artistry, as an actor first, writer, and director. So for that, we really appreciate the work. Something really beautiful happened here for me with Rosario Dawson that helped me realize that the gamble paid off. The gamble of, I'm going to stick to this show because I love the character. I actually do love Rosario Dawson's work. And I love Star Wars, so I'm gonna stick on to this, and it paid off. That moment when she decides, all right, I'm gonna work with Sabine, and I'm gonna let her tell me. I'm gonna show her I trust her, and it was the way she did it. Suddenly, I saw more of Rosario and less of this Ahsoka that I saw in part 1 and part 2. That's like this very obscure and vague character. But no, there was more life and layer to this one in part 3, and I'm all in. This was Star Wars at its best. We had ships fighting in the stars. We had whales flying in space. We had a villain in the sky, and it was quick editing. Yeah. And it's just, there's mysterious of this Marok character, and Hu Yang is incredible. That character's been great all throughout. So
it's David Tennant.
Yeah,
he's world class.
Yeah, he's fantastic. So all in all, I'm back on board. I'm very excited finally again. So we'll see where this goes, but that's me. And I could say more.
One last thought, super fast. So I did notice the first 2 episodes, the walls were way up. Their guards were up, and the pride and the hurt, the resentment, probably from everything that happened. And now we're seeing those walls come down and truly able to meet these characters and see their potential. And the other thing I appreciate as an audience, and Matthew, you know more about the lore and the stories of Star Wars, but that relationship between Jedi and Mandalorian. I remember with Grogu, there was this thing about, okay, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a Jedi? Do you want to be a Mandalorian? And here we were all like, what do you mean Sabine's a Jedi? And I think in this episode, that Mandalorian in her is what really is her strength in flying and shooting, like the weapons.
Yeah,
and
for
she
sure.
has a lot of strengths that now Ahsoka's allowing her to really shine in that. Not so much the pressure of, I have to be a Jedi, but
allowing her to just be herself. Like
you are who you are, and that's amazing. So that was my favorite part. And that's it.
And then, just because I have to mention it, because you mentioned it was your favorite scene so far, that scene with Hera in the council was Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That was Hera.
Yes.
And then seeing her, interact with her son, and then Chopper, and you can see the hurt when she talks about losing friends, and how you just look at her with this, it's just so infuriating. And so, as an actor, you get pissed off, and it was just so good. It was so good. That's Hera. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm happy they gave her more stuff, because part of me was worried that they just brought her in to kind of start the show off, and then we don't really hear from her again.
Yeah.
But I really do love how they're still sticking with her, because I really hope for that as well, and we were able to see,
Like you said, Dad, it's Star Wars.
It's awesome.
Star Wars at its best, like you said. I think
I love the music
going,
too.
It's gonna,
we gotta go.
it's gonna keep getting better.
There was
it's okay.
when they were having their sparring thing where she was practicing. I love the music there. The tense strings and it was so
little
great.
throwback
so
to
great.
Luke and
and
first time training.
Fantastic. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much. I have to head to an appointment, but yes, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you guys enjoyed our reaction to episode 3 of Star Wars Ahsoka. Definitely a much more refreshing and just exciting installment to the show. And thank you for your patience. And we want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments as to what you thought of this episode, what you think of our commentaries, our opinions to this show so far, how you agree, disagree, everything we want to hear, and connect with all of you in the comments. So meet us down there. And remember, if you guys want to have access to our Uncut Watch Alongs and support what we do here on this channel, you guys can do so by becoming a member of this channel by either clicking the link in the description or this card above to check out our Patreon, or by clicking that join icon next to the subscribe button. So you have 2 ways to become a member of MaJeliv, so either on Patreon or on YouTube. So you guys can check those out. But regardless, you being here today means a lot to us. So thank you. Go out there, spread your light, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a MaJeliv day.
Bye.
Bye.